Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm going to be getting married now. I plan to have a wedding this year sometime, so make sure that you're able to come out and see it. Congratulations, Gabby. Of course I'll make sure to set some time aside to be there at your wedding. Just make sure you send me the date when you have the chance, and I'll mark it on my calendar. I'm sure this is your first time ever being invited out to one of your friends' weddings before, right? You've always been such a gloomy person with only me as your friend, right? Consider it a privilege to be getting invited out to my wedding now. And you can thank me for giving you such a privilege by gifting me a really generous present. I suppose this is my first time ever being invited out to a friend's wedding before. I'll be a bit nervous about it, but I'll do my best to celebrate you and your big occasion. I'll be waiting for your invitation to come in the mail. Wow! So this really is your first time then? With all the friends I have, I think I've been invited out to at least 10 different weddings. And 3 of them I've been bridesmaids for. What? You've been to that many weddings now? And have had the chance of being a bridesmaid 3 times? Since you haven't even been to one yet, that means you don't know how to RSVP or anything like that, do you? Well, allow me to teach you a few things so that you don't come looking like an idiot. As a friend of mine, you have to make sure to come with a $5,000 gift to me. $5,000? Well, first of all, I know how to RSVP for things like a wedding. But I've never heard of anyone having to give that much to their friend on their wedding day. And that's because you are a gloomy person with no other friends besides me. You have no idea what kinds of gifts you're supposed to be giving. I've never been invited out to a friend's wedding before, but I have gone to one of my cousin's weddings before. There I learned that even family didn't have to give all that much in terms of gifts. Maybe somewhere close to 500 worth at the most. So when it comes to friends, somewhere between 200 to 300 should be enough, right? When it comes to normal friends, that amount is totally fine, but I'm different. Huh? To you, I'm your one and only super important friend, right? So when it comes to something like your one and only super important friend's wedding, you should be willing to give me close to $5,000 as a gift. You happen to know nothing at all, and if it weren't for me, you'd be completely screwed. So you expect me to bring you $5,000? I've never heard about anything like that. Huh? Why do you keep talking back to me like that? If you're going to continue acting like a penny pincher, then I'm going to take my invitation back. What? Besides me, there are no other friends that will be inviting you out to their wedding. And if you are to ever get married in the future, I won't be coming to your wedding. Stop talking like that, Gabby. Then stop talking back to me like that and get ready to come out to my wedding. And make sure to RSVP properly for it and bring what I've asked. I am the only person willing to invite a gloomy person like you to come out to my wedding, after all.
Hello, and nice to meet you. This is Gabby's fiance, Eddie. And you are her friend, Lacey, right?
Nice to meet you, Eddie. This would be Lacey. I'm really looking forward to your guys' wedding coming up here.
Thank you. Actually, regarding that wedding we have coming up, there is something I'd like to ask from you. Do you have a minute to talk with me about it right now?
You have something to ask from me?
I want to surprise Gabby with a really nice video at our wedding. And in order to do that, I'd like your help with some of it. And that is why I got into touch with you today. I feel a little bad coming out of nowhere like this and asking you to do me a favor.
Oh, a surprise video would be wonderful for her. Oh, if there's something you think that I could help with, I'd be glad to.
Hearing you say that to me makes me a whole lot more confident now. I have been thinking of some things that I'd like to have in the video for her. Gabby happens to have a lot of friends, but there were too many for her to invite to the wedding, so some had to be left out. So those friends that aren't able to come, I like to have messages recorded from them and put into the video.
That's going to be a wonderful gift and surprise for her.
I know that it would probably be better for me to go each and every one of those friends and ask this from them, but I haven't been able to get all their numbers. And having to go all over social media asking her friends on there would take even more time to do. Actually, Gabby doesn't really use any social media to begin with, so...
Now that you say it, that makes sense. I only know her phone number and nothing else.
I believe that the only person I can really ask to do this for me who knows all her friends is you, Lacey. So could you please help me out there by going and chatting with all her friends for me? As a friend of hers, you happen to know almost all of her friends, right?
Actually, Eddie, I'm a pretty introverted person, and when it comes to friends, the only one I have is Gabby. When she came to the school I was at in high school, she was the first friend I ever made and her first friend in the school. But when she and I went to different colleges, we stopped talking for a little while. So I'm not really sure who all she's friends with at the moment.
Is that right?
But as a friend of hers, I'll try my best. Having to deal with the wedding itself is already a challenging thing, so you can leave a lot of the video up to me.
Thank you, Lacey. Then please, do your best with that surprise video and all the messages in it for me. And of course, try your best not to let Gabby find out about it.
Go home right now. I want you out of here before this wedding gets going. Hey, what the hell is this about, Gabby? You were the one that invited me to be here today, so why is there no seating available for me here at the moment? And why was I taken and told to leave this wedding venue? Well, I'm really disappointed in what I did. I made a small mistake with the number of guests I invited here to my wedding, and that led to there being not enough seating here today. Then why not have them bring out one more seat for me to sit near the back? It's not as simple as you think, though. If I do that, then the balance in this place will be off. And having to ask for catering to bring enough food for one extra person would also be tough. Thinking about it, just kicking a person out of my wedding is a lot faster than trying to figure something else out. And you decided to have me kicked out? Because today is supposed to be a very bright and beautiful wedding, and I want to make sure I have all the most beautiful and smiling people here with me today. So the most basic, I should actually say the most gloomy person here has to go. No way! I've been looking forward to coming to your wedding today for so long now. I wanted to come and celebrate my important friend's wedding, and I made sure to buy myself a really cute dress for today as well. No matter how you style yourself up, you'll always be a gloomy person deep down. That same gloomy character that you had all the way back in high school still comes out all the time. That's so mean, Gabby. This is how you're going to treat one of your friends who came all the way out here for you today? And you're not even going to apologize for doing it? I'm sorry. Your one and only friend's wedding of all things, and I'm kicking you out of it. But even if this is such a terrible thing for you, I still happen to have plenty of friends coming to celebrate with me today. Kicking you out won't be a problem for me at all. I see. To me, I viewed you as a really close and kind friend of mine. But to you, I'm nothing more than another person you happen to know, huh? So please, hurry up and go home already. This wedding is going to start up here really soon. Understood. Oh, one other thing. What happened here today is to stay between you and I, all right? If everyone were to find out that I had to kick out a guest of mine over a mistake I made, I'd be really embarrassed. You tell everyone that asks why you're leaving that you came here uninvited, and that's why you're having to leave now. Excuse me? That would make the most sense to everyone, right? I never asked for a gloomy woman to be here today. I will not have someone come into my wedding today acting like they're my friend when they weren't even invited here in the first place. All right, I'm going home right now. Get lost, you loser. You are not meant to be a part of my bright and beautiful wedding today. But you did come all the way out here, so make sure to leave your gift for me up front before you go. You may be gloomy, but you're still a serious person, so make sure to leave me that $5,000 I asked for. You think I'm leaving anything for you? I am not leaving anything I bought as a gift for you today with you after you just said those things about me. And I sure won't be giving any of this money to those extras now. What? Now, like you were asking me to do, I'm heading home. Enjoy your wedding with whoever remains after we're gone, because I'm telling you right now that most of your guests aren't staying. Wait right there! What the hell do you mean when you just said extras? Stop talking like a madman, please. Why are you getting all worked up now? And I wasn't saying anything crazy there, just the truth, right? All of those people you had sitting there ready to watch your wedding today are all strangers, right? They're all extras you got together for your wedding today. Why the hell do you know about that? And with a reaction like that, you've now confirmed it. Where the hell did you hear about that? What else do you know about this? Tell me everything you know right now. Actually, your fiancé, Eddie, he asked me to make a surprise video that we'd play for you at the wedding today. He told me that due to there not being a lot of space, a ton of your friends couldn't be invited. So he asked me to get in touch with all those friends that couldn't come and record some messages from them. A surprise video for me? So I got to work reaching out to all your friends about it. First, I started with all your friends from back in high school, but they all turned me down because they said you weren't their friend. What? Now that I think about it, you were always hanging out with me back then, right? And when in school, you only ever talked with me and not to anyone else. That was because I felt bad for you being all alone. I wanted to make you feel a bit better by treating you as a friend. So stop trying to make it sound like I didn't have any other friends back then besides you, please. And I thought the same thing at first myself. And that's why I started to ask everyone from our class back in high school. But every single one of them told me they weren't close to you at all. They would all say that the only friend you ever had was me. I was the only person that ever seemed okay with talking to you, apparently. What? These are all things that I was told by the people I asked from high school. And to make things even more awkward, some of them wanted to talk with and hang out with me, but every time they tried to come up and speak, you'd get in the way. You would always get in their faces and tell them to leave me alone, which left them feeling like they could never come up to me. And they also told me that any time they'd try and talk with you, you'd just roll your eyes at them and walk away. That never happened. I was never that kind of a person back then. Unlike a shy person like yourself, I had tons of friends and still do. And that is why I went back even further and tried talking to people that went to middle school with you. What? But they all said the exact same things to me. They all said you were never their friend and that they had nothing else to say about you. Some even told me that you always sat alone in the classroom and never went up to anyone asking to be friends. You're lying, right? You went and talked with all of those people from back in middle school, too? And let's not forget about those that you went to college with. I was able to manage finding people that you were in the same classes with and same clubs with. What? They all regarded you as the lonely-looking student. Some said that you were so shy that you were kind of like a ghost that just floated around the campus all the time. Seems like you're more like me than you thought. The same me that you would say has no friends and is a gloomy person. Don't you compare me to you. I am nothing like you at all. Tell me, what makes you different from me then? Just like me, you don't have any friends, right? You're just like me, being so shy that the only friend you could make was another person, just like you, right? And that is why you had to hire people to come to your wedding as extras today to play the part of being your friend. No, wait, all in order to fool your fiancé today, right? I was originally going to tell him that I didn't have the resources needed to make the video for you today and that it was all my fault. But since you just kicked me out of your wedding like that, I no longer feel the need to lie like that for you. If anything, I'm going to tell him the truth before I take off. I'll say that I couldn't find any of these friends you were talking about, and then I'll let him know that you hired too many extras to be at your wedding today, and that's why you kicked me out. Please don't say anything useless like that to him. He still thinks that I have all these friends and that I'm a very outgoing person. I was not able to do the one thing Eddie asked me to do for him. I need to apologize for that and tell him the full and honest reason for as to why. With that, congrats on the wedding. I hope you feel happy with all these extras celebrating you today instead of the only friend you ever had.
Just a second ago, I received your message from the staff. They told me you couldn't finish the surprise video. All because you weren't able to find any of the friends that Gabby was talking about before? What's going on here? Is it true that all of her guests here today are paid extras?
That's right, every single one of them. Gabby was just trying to make herself look good by saying she had all those friends. But in reality, she's just like myself, being a rather introverted person who was too shy to really talk with anyone at all.
No way. She was always bragging to me about how she had all these friends. She would show me all these presents she'd get from her friends on her birthday, and would leave all the time to go out to dinner with them.
I'm pretty sure that all of those were lies too. I really tried my best to search for her friends, but not even the people she works with would call her one.
No way.
but her not having that many friends isn't a bad thing, is it? So could you please not blame her for that? I'm going to put my phone down now.
Hold on a second, Lacey. Can I ask you one more question before you go? Is Gabby really your friend? Rather, she treats you as a really good friend of hers, right?
As far as I'm aware, she's a very close friend of mine. Ever since high school, we've been very close and always hung out.
Then, could you please tell me what you think of Gabby as your friend? I don't think her not having many friends is a bad thing. Not at all, actually. But the fact that she lied to me about all of it has really shocked me. Even going as far as to get a bunch of paid extras together for the wedding today. I've lost a lot of faith in her all of a sudden.
I don't blame you after she lied to you as much as she did. And when it comes to how I view her, of course I enjoyed a lot of memories with her in the past as a friend. But there have also been a lot of memories of her where she'd speak poorly about me.
What?
She would say things about how if she were never around, I'd be hopeless, and things about how, unlike her, I was a really gloomy loser. All sorts of terrible things came out of her mouth aimed at me. She's the kind of person that enjoys talking highly of herself while treating everyone else around her like they're worthless without her. And she's also the kind of person that doesn't feel sorry at all for kicking their only friend out of their wedding.
Thank you for being so upfront about all that. I was worried about hearing a lot of those things. But after having heard them, I feel a lot better. I'm so sorry about what's happened today. As her fiancé, I promise to make this all up to you later. I think I need to go and have a word with Gabby now about all of this.
Don't worry about me, and go have that chat with her, please. I'll be going now. How could you do all of this to me? Because of you, yesterday was the worst day of my life. In the end, my wedding was canceled, and my fiancé said he was going to rethink making me his wife. In other words, it sounds like Eddie will be breaking up with you then? He's going to stop working on those papers for your marriage, right? He told me he can't trust a woman who is fine with lying so much about herself, and he said it was insane of me to pay for all those extras to come and act like my friends. Things would have gone a lot better if you had never made those lies about having a bunch of friends. What's wrong with not having a lot of friends anyway? If I didn't have a lot of friends, he would have never wanted to go out with me, though. Unlike me, he actually has a ton of friends because he's popular. And on his days off, he's always going out with all his friends because he's just that outgoing of a guy. In order to get him to like me, I had to act like I was just as popular as him. You were just trying to make yourself look good then. Eddie never cared about the amount of friends people like you had. Yet you went and lied anyway about having all those friends and taking it all way too far. And the outcome of that is your current state. Shut up, Lacey. Don't you dare start preaching to me, you gloomy loser. Now, you listen here. This is all happening because you opened your mouth about it. Having my wedding canceled on me and my fiancé wanting to leave me are both your fault. You take responsibility for all of this right now. Good point. Then allow me to take responsibility by cutting ties to you now. What? Goodbye forever, Gabby. I promise to never mess with your lies ever again. I know this may still not be enough, but I'm sure that over time you can make up some new lies without me having to get in the way. Wait a second, please. If you cut ties to me and stop being my friend, you're going to be all alone. You are just like me, having no friends at all and being too shy to make any others, right? And that's where you're wrong, because that was the me of the past. I'm totally different from back then. I happen to have quite a few friends now. What did you say? Back in school, I was very shy, and you were my only friend. But when we graduated from high school, I went out of state for college, right? At that time, I gained a lot more confidence and started to talk to all kinds of people. Because of that, I made plenty of friends and a lot of people that I can share my hobbies with. I think I have around 15 friends now who I'm close to. No way. You're lying, right? A gloomy loser like you has friends? Yet to me, you're all I have. Why do you get to have other friends besides me? Goodbye now, Gabby. You and I are still pretty young, and it would be really sad to spend the rest of your life all alone. I pray that one day you'll find yourself a new friend as well. No, don't go. Wait, Lacey, don't cut ties to me like you're saying. I'm asking you to please keep me around as your friend forever. After that, the talks about getting married with Eddie ended for Gabby after he went to her house and got the engagement ring back from her with his parents. Of course, she cried for him not to leave her, but ultimately, there was nothing else she could do, as both of her parents had already spoken with Eddie, planning this whole thing out. And because the wedding had to be canceled due to her lies, Eddie asked that she pay for everything from the wedding itself to the cancellation fees. And as for those extras being paid, Gabby's plan was to use that $5,000 from me to do just that. But having not gotten that money from me, she was left with 15 very upset extras that would soon get the money they asked for from putting her even further in debt. Not too long after that, Gabby started to message me some more, asking for us to get back together and for me to never leave her again. But I never responded to any one of her pleas towards me and left every single one of them on read, and will continue to do so. Although, to be honest, I'm better off just blocking her, as I did say I'd take responsibility for her wedding by leaving her life forever, so... According to all the rumors I've heard about her life a few weeks after everything, besides leaving her place to go to work, she never goes out of the house. And a lot of her coworkers have told me about how she'll come into work these days talking to herself about how nobody wants to be her friend, and that she'll continue to lock herself inside her room until the end of time. Many of them seemed a bit worried about those kinds of things that she says and have already started complaining to HR about it all, asking that she be helped. But who really knows for sure if there is any way to help her now, besides sending her to therapy to try and get her to open up and socialize a little. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Excuse me, Lily. What is this invitation for? This doesn't look like the place I said I wanted you to have the wedding at.
I'm sorry, Kimberly, but there were a lot of people booked at the place you recommended that we have our wedding at. And it was the kind of place that required large numbers of people. And the website said to at least have 200 guests.
Well, you can get that amount of people together for your wedding, though. After inviting not only close family and friends, but everyone you knew from school and from your work, you'll have that many guests. And when it comes to my family, we have plenty of family members that we can bring along, and close to 25 cousins alone.
You really want that many people coming to our wedding, though?
If anything, not inviting a lot of guests would be strange. I'm sorry. For a family like yours, you don't have a lot of people in it, right? With you only ever having your mother around, you're missing all the family that your father would have had.
That's very true. And when it comes to my mom's family, it's pretty small, so there wouldn't be a lot to invite to the wedding for me.
So in other words, you went ahead and chose another venue because you didn't want to be embarrassed on your wedding day, right? Even though your mother-in-law went through all that effort finding you the perfect wedding venue of all places.
It had nothing to do with me not wanting to be embarrassed. I told you already that there was a lot of people already booked for the place, and that they asked while we invite at least 200 guests to it. We plan on only having close family and friends at the wedding, so that wouldn't do. We don't really like standing out in front of a bunch of people anyway.
But the wedding is where you're supposed to. The reason you hold it in the first place is to have as many people as possible celebrating it. However, you're saying you want to host a tiny little wedding of all things. I feel bad for my son Jack now.
Why?
There is only ever one wedding in a person's life, and I want for my successful son to be celebrated by as many people as possible on his big day. Yet for some reason, he's getting married to his fatherless woman. And because of that, his chance to show off to so many people is being ruined, and made another small get-together like all those simple couples have for weddings. I feel so sorry for the kid.
But even Jack said that he'd like to have a smaller wedding.
He's only saying that in order not to cause any trouble for you. Deep down, he's like any other man who wants to throw a massive party and be celebrated by all. I wonder if my son would be able to change to a better woman to make his wife. One who actually has both of her parents still. He does not need someone like you as a wife. I know that.
What?
This is what happens when you only have one parent raising you. He's going to have to sacrifice himself in order to deal with all the crap you've brought to the table now. I really do feel so sorry for the boy.
Kimberly, don't get started again with all those insults about my mom and I, please. And right now, we're not even talking about my family or how I was raised. So let's get back to talking about the wedding, shall we?
Shut up! I will not have a poor and fatherless child like you talking back to me like that. I guess you really weren't raised properly then. You don't even know your own position in the society right now.
What are you talking about? I am just wanting to get married to the man I love, and you just happen to be the mother of the man I love. So please stop talking to me in a manner as rude as that.
Huh?
Also, you need to stop calling my family poor like that as well. I get that you don't like the kind of background that I have, but you are starting to make fun of my mom now as well. Go ahead and say what you like about me, but you leave my mom out of it.
I know that you are all poor in that household. All of you single-parent families are nothing more than moneyless beggars.
Excuse me?
The job of a mother is to give their kids all the love in their heart. Things like money are what the man of the house is for, the father. But because you had no father, your mother had to go out and work all the time, leaving you at home alone. And there is no way a woman who works is making more than a man could. You were raised in a lazy household with no money and no love in it at all.
My mom made sure to love and support me better than anyone else could have. I never had a bad memory about my life when I've been with her, and there was never a moment where I regretted having her as my mom. I had a very good life as a child and a teen with her, and had everything everyone else my age had.
Stop trying to act all tough, you fatherless heathen. Now you're just getting all sassy with me, which is something I'll allow a wife of my son to be. I'm going to make sure your marriage doesn't happen anymore. Actually, I've already found my son a woman that is perfect for his class.
Stop saying such stupid crap like that. You can hate me all you want, but you do not get a say in the marriage your son has. And I'm going to marry him.
Well, my son happens to understand everything I tell him, and he's only agreeing with what you've chosen right now. Soon, he'll be agreeing with me again, and we'll be looking past you. Hey, Jack. Would you like to come out with your mom for lunch sometime? Recently, you and I haven't been able to have the mother-son bonding time we used to have.
What? Kimberly?
Come on now. Don't call me by my first name, please. I understand that you plan to get married soon and have a family of your own, but I'm still your mom, right? I will always be your mother forever, so please, continue calling me Mom. You can even call me Mama like you did when you were a little rascal.
What?
Listen, Jack, you and I can go get something for lunch together at the start of next month if you like. I actually happen to have a woman that I'd really like for you to meet.
What are you saying right now? You do realize that at the beginning of next month, I'm getting married to Lily, right? That's our wedding then.
You can put something like that on hold for a bit.
Huh?
Just say that you can't have a wedding that day anymore. I understand that in this day and age, something like that is hard to do, so you are more than welcome to cancel last minute on Lily if you'd like. Give an excuse about how you become sick or something.
Is this woman you have for me really worth canceling my wedding over in order to meet?
I put all of my marbles together looking for the perfect woman for you. She happens to be the daughter of a CEO as well. She has a great education, and her character is phenomenal. She is the perfect woman for a man like you. I think you'd be far better off with someone like her as your wife.
In other words, you're asking me to jump over to her and leave Lily behind? There's only a month left before the wedding and everything, and you're asking me to do the absurd.
I'm asking you to meet with this woman for me because I don't believe in you getting married to Lily. A CEO's daughter like her is 100 times better than that Lily is for you. If you do meet with this other woman and still want to be with Lily, then I guess you really do love her. Then I will never say another thing about you two ever again.
Really?
I'm just worried about you is all, Jack. I want you to have a marriage that won't fail you ever in the future. That is why this is the one and only thing I'm asking you to do for me. Just meet with her one time for me. And if you still choose to be with Lily, then I'll make sure to pay for your wedding being cancelled or delayed.
If that's what you're wanting, then I understand. I just have to meet with her once, right?
That's all I'm asking. Thank you so much, Jack. The fact that you're listening to me still shows that you really do love me, and I love you too. I'll get in touch with them right now and set up a date for you two. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm not going to be able to come out to your wedding today. Something very important just came up that I must be at.
Something more important than your own son's wedding. Today is our wedding, all right? So shouldn't this come before anything else?
Well, this is something very important to me. And it's not like you're even going to be able to have that wedding anyway. I've never heard of a wedding being held before where the groom isn't present. Since that's the kind of wedding you'll be having today, then there's no problem with me not showing up to it, right?
Huh?
Actually, it's not just me skipping out on the wedding, but my son as well. Sounds like he's not feeling too good right now. He said that he's been worried sick about getting married to a fatherless child like you, which is why he asked me to tell you that he wants for today's wedding to be canceled.
I don't think that Jack would ever ask for something like that.
If you don't believe me, then take a look around at your wedding venue. My son shouldn't be anywhere inside that place. Perhaps he's even out right now with a really special woman having some coffee in this point in time.
Excuse me?
Anyway, now that you're aware of that, I'm going to be heading out. My son and I are both not showing up today, and I promise you that we won't be showing up for you no matter how much you beg for us to come. Forget about that marriage, please.
We never invited you though, Mom.
What? So don't worry about letting us know that you have plans more important than my wedding?
Never wanted you to be here today, so this isn't a problem for us.
A what? You just call me Mom, Lily. Huh?
But don't hurry your way out to that cafe. I already talked with that woman about what was going on, so you can go there, but there won't be anyone else to meet. Now have yourself a good coffee, all alone.
Wait a second, please. What? What the hell is going on here? Why are you using Lily's phone right now? Does that mean you're actually at that wedding venue already? You promised to come out with me to meet this woman I'd found for you, right?
Jack told me he never made that promise with you. I was just acting like him at the time and made that fake promise.
What?
So, you never did realize who you were texting then? Actually, when you were talking with who you presumed to be Jack about that woman you found for him, you were really talking to me. You told him to cancel last minute on our wedding, and then go out with you to meet that woman, right? A CEO's daughter, correct?
What was that?
I was pretty shocked to hear all of that from you. Never thought there could be a mother in this world willing to do something so horrible to her son. And then you went on about how I would beg for you guys to come here. Well, I was the one that made this whole plan up with you, and there's no reason for me to beg for any other outcome now.
No way. How could I have made such a mistake as that?
I was going to tell you who I was at the very start, but then I thought about how if I blew my cover there, you would come up with another plan to try and ruin this wedding another time. So I just decided to play Jack that time and get you to make a plan that was never going to happen. And then I thought to myself how I didn't want someone like you coming to our wedding later. Really, I thought it was the perfect chance to get you to stay away from the wedding.
Huh?
So after I had faked being Jack and made that fake promise with you, I told Jack about everything and showed him the text you were sending me. And when I told him about how we wouldn't invite you after that, he was really happy. He told me that he would feel a whole lot better not having you at the wedding. So then and there, we both agreed to keep you off the guest list. You really are such a wonderful mother, aren't you?
I'm not screwing around right now. You've been making fun of me this whole entire time. Don't think you can get carried away now just because you kept me away from that wedding.
I'm not getting carried away, though. I was just keeping everything a secret from you until today, so that you wouldn't show up. And both Jack and I made sure to have your husband involved in this as well. He helped Jack explain to that girl you found what had happened and why she shouldn't go to the cafe with you. I was never going to get carried away with any of this because that was the only plan I had.
You have to be kidding me. You talked with my husband about all of this as well? And you told that young woman about this? All of that work I put in. I put in so much work finding that girl for my son to marry.
Yep. She really was such a wonderful young woman. When I was talking with her over the phone, she told me how bad she felt that I'd have a mother-in-law like you. And as a thank you for saving her from ever seeing you in person, she sent me some high-end shoes in the mail. She told me that whenever I wear them, I'll be reminded of how I saved another sister's life.
What?
So, with all that being said, please go and enjoy that other plan that popped up for you. You don't have to come to our wedding today, and after this, we're going to be cutting ties to you.
You're cutting ties to me too?
Both Jack and I decided that that was the best option. We don't want to deal with you anymore, Kimberly. And right now, Jack is next to me saying he's wanting to vomit after he just had a talk with you.
Why would you say something like that, Jack? I was just doing all of this for your happiness.
If you want for him to be happy, then allow for the two of us to have a great wedding and marriage. I was the one he proposed to and asked to be with for the rest of his life. I am the one that he chose, yet you are going against the one person he is most happy with. all for your own biased reasons.
You shut the hell up. I am against you marrying him because you were never raised the correct way like he was. Because you only ever had a mother raise you. You don't know what the love of both parents is like, and you have never been punished by both parents either. I have no choice but to say no to him marrying you, because you are nothing more than a useless child to the society.
If that's what you're gonna say, Mom, then I think the same thing about myself. I never knew what the love of both my parents was like.
What?
I never felt any love coming from you, only from Dad. If anything, I feel like I was raised in worse conditions than Lily was.
What the hell are you going on about right now, Jack? You were loved by both your father and I more than anyone else could be. We made sure to raise you to become the most successful man ever. I was always by your side and never let you once get into any trouble, right?
Are you kidding me? All you ever did was force me to stay inside all day while you left the house to go play.
What?
You were always leaving me with a babysitter while you left the house for close to 10 hours a day. When I was still young and would cry over small things, you wouldn't coddle me. You called me annoying and told me to shut the hell up. And that's why you never stuck around the house with me and hired so many babysitters. When it came to Dad, he had things like work that kept him busy all day, so he couldn't always be with me. I'm pretty sure there was a reason for leaving me at home all the time like that as well, right?
Hold on,
You only ever came back home to start raising me after I'd finished elementary school. You came back for me then because I was older and no longer needed all of your attention, and then you started to try and act like my mother.
You remember a lot from back then, don't you? I thought you wouldn't be able to remember anything from when you were little.
I remember it all so well because I was always lonely and sad. I didn't even get to experience things like eating my mom's cooking like Lily has. And whenever I was sick and needed to stay home from school, you never said that it was okay. Instead, you forced me to go. I had to grow up never knowing what it was like to have parents around me who cared, and yet Lily still loves me. Someone like me who had no parents. So I ain't listening to the crap that comes out of your mouth about our marriage.
How dare you talk to your own mother like that?
Who are you calling my mother? You're not even willing to come out to my wedding today. Are we done here? I don't see you as my mother, and I never want to see you in general. I'm cutting ties to you right now. So when we have kids, and when you need your child to support you in old age, you can forget about trying to contact me, because I'm not ever letting you into my life again.
What am I going to do, Lily? I was told by my husband last night when he got home from your guy's wedding that he wants a divorce now. And then he kicked me out of the house. And when it turned night, he didn't let me back inside.
Well, there's no reason for someone to let you back into their house when they're getting a divorce from you. From what your husband has told me, you're nothing more than a stranger to him now.
No way. To be divorced at an age like mine, and having to lose my house now is too unbelievable. Hey, Lily, I'm coming over to your place right now. Would that be all right with you?
What?
I don't have anyone else to ask for help right now. I promise to stay quiet and not get in the way of your new married life to my son. So would you please allow me to come and live with you?
Did you forget that yesterday was the start of us having cut ties to you? There's no way we're going to let you into our house.
Then you will once you stop cutting ties to me, right? I get that I did some things wrong along the way, having been scared of doing things like raising Jack and always running from him. But as his mother, I've always loved him and still do. If I have to actually lose my son like this, my heart is going to be torn to shreds.
Kimberly.
Being from a house where you only ever had your mother, you can understand how horrible this is for me, right? You understand how precious the bond between a mother and her child is, right? No matter what happens, the mother should always be with her kids, right?
Good point. Considering that I only ever had my mother around, I do understand very well. Things like family are what the mother should be worried about most.
Lily!
Which is why a mother who doesn't put her family first and support them is no longer a mother at all. In that moment where they stop thinking about their family as everything, they become nothing. So could you please give up now? Your relationship you had with Jack was severed the moment you started to leave him home like that all the time to go out and play.
What?
It was only ever my mom and I in the house. And that's why I'm able to understand just how important it is for the child to have their mother, and the mother to raise their child. That's what a family really is. Even if I had my father around during all that, the family would still revolve around the mother's love for her kids. It's all about that love and support for one another. But for someone like you, who is only ever around when she needs help, that makes you anything but family to someone like Jack.
No, wait. Lily? Are you pretty much saying that I'm being abandoned now? That's so cold of you.
I'm sorry, but I never knew what it was like to be loved by both my parents and raised in a way you don't agree with. That might be the reason why I'm so cold at times. Sorry, I guess. But unlike Jack, I'm never going to cut ties to my mom, which means that I'm still warmer than someone like him who had both his parents around growing up. That's all. Goodbye forever now. After that, there were no more notifications on my phone from Kimberly, as I believe she had learned her place. And soon after that, her husband was able to get that divorce he had been wanting from her, and they were no more. Like she said to me, he would be taking the house and everything in the divorce, only leaving her with one of the cars and all of her furniture that he didn't even like. And so, after he had loaded up the car for her with all of her junk, he threw the keys out the window to where she was laying in the yard crying and told her to screw off. Then, only once after that happened, she sent a message to Jack saying that she was so sorry for the mother she'd become and for never loving him enough to prove that they were family. And then, she proceeded to say that one day, she hoped that he'd be calling her his mama once more and that they'd be able to see one another again. But Jack didn't even give her a response to any of that and left her on read, blocking her number right after that. I know that I'm pretty cold for what I said to his mom before I stopped talking to her, but what he did there was ice cold for sure. From rumors I've heard, after the divorce and everything, Kimberly made a move all the way back to her parents' house. But back there were all of her old classmates from back in the day, who had families of their own now with grandchildren and all, and the sight of that made her feel even worse. And so, to this day, she has closed herself off from the world and spends all her time inside the house, never leaving it for anything.
Hello, Em. This is Karina. Are you really over at my parents' house right now, living with them? From what I've heard, it sounds like you're living there with both my mom and dad and my little brother. Long time no see, Karina. A lot actually happened that led to us having to live with them. I told you so many times now not to go living with them, yet you still did it anyway? I told you to say no to my parents no matter how many times they both asked. My dad was going off about how it has to be the oldest son that lives with them and that you were being too audacious, right? Yet even still, you made sure to say no to him, right? That time was very tough for both your brother and I, considering how intensely they kept talking to us. They had me in that room for close to 2 hours and went on and on about how I needed to act as a wife. Just like that, both my parents went into in-law mode on you. Did that eventually get to you and cause you to finally give in to their requests? How lucky. I am finally able to relax now and get the divorce I'd always been wanting. What? Divorce? Karina, are you going to get a divorce now? When we last saw you at our wedding, you and your husband seemed so close to one another. And there's been a lot going on with myself as well recently. In my house, there are 3 children running around, right? And I have been a housewife this whole time, so even though I wanted to get a divorce, I could never do anything. I wanted someone to be there for me to take my kids if I were to get divorced from my husband. What? Are you hinting at me right now? No matter how you try and think about it, you're the only person I can rely on for something like that, right? There was no way I could leave my 3 kids in the hands of my aging parents after moving back in with them. And also, I didn't want to come home to them always preaching to me about how I need to do a better job raising my kids. But if there's now a younger woman in the house, I can just have her take care of the kids without a problem at all. In other words, I'll be like a slave? Living back at home with my parents means that I won't have to pay for rent or anything else. And if I get to have a slave of my own to boss around, then I can make living as a single mother happen. Now, I'm going to get divorced from my husband as soon as possible. Hold it right there, Karina. Bringing something like that up right now is not all right. I have never cared for any children before, and calling me your slave? I have to start working on this divorce, so don't keep me waiting. This is the reason why having the oldest son and his wife back in my parents' house is the best time for me. Hold on. When it comes to the wife, your one and only job is to serve him and the rest of his family, right? And that includes your husband's older sister. Now, I have a divorce to make, and right after that, I'll be coming back home to all of you. Get everything ready for my return, please and thank you. What are we going to do, Seth? I'm about to be screwed over by your older sister when she gets back here.
What? What are you going on about right now, Em? Did my parents go to you again saying a bunch of bullcrap?
This time it wasn't your parents, but Karina who came to me speaking loads of nonsense. She told me that with me living in your parents' house now, she can relax and get a divorce.
Huh? Get a divorce?
Karina told me that she wants to divorce her husband. She's been wanting to do it for a while, actually, but she has her 3 kids, which have been holding her back from making the choice. But now that I'm home with your parents and you, she thinks she doesn't have to worry anymore and can come back here to us. And she told me that I'll have to be the one to take care of her 3 kids once they're all moved in. She told me I'm going to be like her slave from now on.
Hey, hold on for a second. This is all coming at me too fast. I don't fully get what's going on here. To start, does my sister really want to get divorced now? What kind of merit is there in divorcing such a loving and kind husband as the one she has?
I'm not sure what's all been going on at their house, but she told me she's been thinking about divorcing him for a while now, and that's what she's finally going to do now.
Yes. And her reason for making that choice is because you're not living here with my parents in their house? That's... The hell does she think she's thinking, wanting to come back here and use my wife like that?
For some reason, she may think that I've been reformed now or something.
Huh?
Well, before we never once talked about moving in with your parents before our wedding, right? Yet recently we moved in with your parents, even though we turned them down so many times before. She thinks that I might finally understand what it means to be your wife or something, and that's led her to believe that she can do whatever she wants with me.
Huh? You have to be kidding me. We're not with my parents right now because we want to be here.
Your parents were just being so rude about it all the time that we just gave in and moved into their house, right? Actually, I kind of respect the both of them for being so dang persistent. I thought to myself sometimes that if they could be turned down that many times yet still ask us over and over again, they deserve to hear a yes for once.
Sure. What are you talking about, Em? We didn't give in to any of this. We just did this to get those 2 to shut the hell up. I am thankful that they both paid for part of our wedding and everything. But that was just a trap, it seems. And they told me if we leave this house now, we have to pay all that back to them.
And they said we had to pay it all back